Good evening and welcome to our winter concert. Usually this stage would be full of flowers. And as you guys know, due to some very unfortunate snafu stuff at the greenhouse, that wonderful, wonderful opportunity that we had to share with you guys kind of went away. Unfortunately, we were slotted by the time we had collected all that money and we're going to pay for those plants, doing the calculations. We were going to fundraise these kids, the band, the orchestra, the choir, the drama, over $6,000 for the music department. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And but there are some very, very generous people, and a lot of people have continued to donate their money that they paid for the plants. And I can tell you, a gigantic celebration. We had one family donate $3,000 this morning. So that, in conjunction with some of the very, amazing, with some of the other very generous people that are just donating their money to the plant sales, I think we're actually going to do pretty darn decent, and that really helps out. So we really appreciate all the hard work. I'm still waiting for a couple of return forms from students in this class. I don't feel good for a student to say, hey, they said just donate it. I kind of need to see that in writing, having all that written down. I don't want to cash anything. We have this chunk of money that we're just going to hold on to until we get confirmation from everybody that either they want it back or they're going to donate it, or in part, whatever it might be. So if your student still is holding on to that form, would you please encourage them to have that back to me really soon? I want to go ahead and close all this stuff out. So thank you for coming. And the first piece we're going to do is a piece called Troika. Troika is a Russian piece that is a horse-drawn sleigh, drawn by 3 horses. This comes from a suite from Lieutenant Kijé, a opera by Sergei Prokofiev, and it's about a soldier that falls in love with the general's daughter. And of course, he's not supposed to do that. So here's Troika. The next piece we're going to do for you is a very fun arrangement of the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." It is a wonderful place to be in a building where the arts are supported. And we have some wonderful support in the front office with our administration. Mr. Hill, our Dean of Students, used to be my student way back in the day. We also have Mr. Harmon, who played cello all the way up through high school. Yep. Yeah. Our principal played tuba. I don't think Miss Curto played anything, not to my knowledge.
I don't believe so.
Yeah. So it's wonderful to have all these people that have come up through the musical ranks and have a lot of fun with it and can appreciate that. We're going to invite Mr. Harmon up, and he's going to be our narrator for this next really fun piece, 'Twas the Night Before Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled, all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plum fairies danced in their heads. And Mama, her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash. Tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted,
"Yo, reindeer!"
and called them by name.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen.
To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet an obstacle, mount to the sky, so up to the housetops the coursers they flew. With the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. I drew in my head and was turning around. Down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled. His dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight,
Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
I had to give up on the mask. I mouth so many things as I conduct because I don't want you guys to know. So, got to take that off to communicate. A couple days ago, last Friday, this group, and along with the band, the jazz band, choir, drama, we all spread out around this room and brought in the 7th graders for one assembly, and then an hour later brought in the 8th graders, and they played for all of their peers. This is an amazing experience, something that we've started a long time ago, tradition here at Mountain Ridge. It is one of the only assemblies that we typically have 0 issues with kids. It's because they're, one, sitting down at the floor, realize how much work these students put in, and they really appreciate it. So it was a lot of fun. I know that they were nervous to play with their peers, but real good experience. The next piece we're going to play is called A Suite of Joyce Carols. The last piece we have for you this evening is Two Christmas Angels, and this is one of the pieces they played in front of their peers. This is going to feature 4 of our players towards the end in a little string quartet. So be on the lookout for that.